Hello, welcome back artists and designers. We are working on our last video right here, and we have done so far the inking layer right here, which is super important. You've got your color flats, which you can see when I hide that inking layer, it's pretty basic. There's not a whole heck of a lot going on there. It's very simple. And now we're going to do our last one, which is the details, and that's where we add our shadows and highlights. And you can do this all on one layer, or you can separate it out. Some people do the shadows on one, highlights on another. It's really up to you. So let's hide that layer. I'm going to add a new layer right here, and we'll do an updated version of that. So you can do this with the blob brush or the pencil tool. And let me turn off this highlighter. Give me 1 second here. I forgot I still had that on. Okay. I'm going to grab let's try the pencil tool first. So I'm going to double click the pencil tool. Again, make sure Fill New Pencil Strokes is selected. I brought the smoothing down because I want to be a little bit more accurate with this. And I can simply take this and go zip right along here and maybe add some highlights into those areas, or shadows I should say. Let's go right like that. So there we go, and that is only a stroke and not an outline. So let's select that, and then we'll go ahead and flip this. I forgot to choose that as a fill. So that's an easy fix right there. And I would continue on doing that. I'm going to grab my blob brush. Let's try it with the blob brush here. Make my brush a little bit bigger, bracket key. Again, make your brush a little bit larger here. Fill that in and add some shadows here. And you can see I'm being pretty sloppy about it because I know that I can go back and fix some of those marks. I think this is why I like the pencil tool better, but it's really kind of up to you. So I'm going to go back in and correct some of these parts where I went overboard with it. So here's the key. You got to make sure that the layers that you don't want to erase are locked. So I can now take the eraser and I can go in here and I can erase this, and I'm not going to have an issue. I can go in, erase anything that I want. If I went outside of the lines anywhere, I am able to just kind of quickly go through there and fix that up. But just be careful, because if you do not have your inking layer locked, or you don't have your flats layer locked, and I try to grab the eraser and clean up this little area right here, let's watch what happens. I'll get right in here and try to clean this up. And whoa, it just erased everything on all of my layers that were visible. So be very, very careful and mindful about that. Make sure that you have your inking layer and your flats layer locked if you want to use your eraser, so that you are only erasing the layer that you want to erase. So again, I don't think I've done a very good job with this particular demonstration, but that is simply the same thing as the flatting layer. You're just building up a layer where you're going to add your details in. So although I have not done a very good job, essentially you're looking for something like this. Use your jack-o'-lantern over here as a reference to kind of imitate some of those shadows and highlights. And you can have some fun. You can add some other details. I'll throw one other thing in here at you if you want to try. I'm going to unlock my flats layer, and if you wanted to actually like add a gradient or something to it, you know, I could select this big area of the pumpkin. So that's this area right here. So I could select that. I could click my gradient tool, head over to properties, and I could pick like a radial gradient. Now it's going to default to the black and white, but if I change this and I go in and pick my orange colors, I could do that. There's my orange, light orange here, and I don't want it all the way to white, so I'm going to double click on my white and make that like my lighter version of my yellow. Let's go to like this yellow, and you could kind of play around with that. So you could experiment with the gradients if you wanted to add a little bit more oomph and pizzazz to this. There we go. Gradient's a little bit funky, but feel free if you want to go in and add some other details that way. You're welcome to do that, as long as you have those inking, flatting, and detail layers here. And then just do me a favor. When you go to turn this in, I would love to see your hard work at this. So I would ask, once you are finished, to actually take your final product, pull your layers panel out so I can see your layers, and do your Windows Shift S and do your screenshot right here so that I can actually see that you have utilized the layers accordingly, and save that for me. Put that into the document when you turn it in. All right, guys, good luck. Have some fun, and hopefully you have learned the process of inking, flatting, and detail work, and you can apply that in the future as you move forward. All right, I'll see you in the next video.